Hello everyone, SantyDark here. Sorry it's been a while, but I've been secretly working on stuff and I was planning on reveal everything by surprise, but I also wanted to make this video to recommend a product that I myself bought and tried and been using since then. I want to clarify this because nobody paid me to make this video. I just want to make it from my own will. Okay, Submission Audio didn't pay me anything to review his product. I just decided to do it by my own self. And I want to recommend you guys a bass, a contact library, a sample library bass that I've been using, which is called Nocturnal bass. We are going to talk about Nick Nocturnal. He's great. No, just kidding. We're not going to talk about him specifically, but we are going to talk about his signature sample library bass called Nocturnal bass. If you know me and if you have been asking me which bass I have been using, I have always answered Eurobass, which is from Submission Audio as well. And Eurobass is good for all-purpose metal stuff. You know, I use it for power metal, I use it for industrial metal, I use it for a bunch of different kind of general purpose metal stuff. It sounds good. It sounds really good out of the box. That's why. But sometimes I have been wanting to use something that sounds a little bit more natural and also kind of clean. Not specifically clean in a subtle way, like this is heavy metal. It is supposed to sound heavy. It is supposed to sound a little bit distorted, crunchy, and you know, it's supposed to have a heavy bass sound. So you're not going to find a DA bass on a metal track, you know. But in the case of Eurobass, yeah, it is a little bit overprocessed for something like progressive metal, which is the kind of stuff that I've been working on lately. I've been working on my second album from my progressive / melodic death metal project called Ascendie. The album is going to be called Promise Me Delirium, and I have a demo to show you today. So I love the fact that this library sounds a little bit more clean, even though I'm using the amplified preset. You know, the libraries, these libraries most of the time comes with DI, then clean, and then distorted presets to select, and each has its own like pre-default production and sound setup for the bass, and it is produced to sound good out of the box. But you can make if you use the DI signal on the bass and then you amplify it yourself with a different plugin or whatever, it's also going to sound good, probably. But yeah, in my case, I really liked how it sounded in the clean preset, and I added a cut in the 60 Hz from 0 to 60 Hz to let the kick of the drum go through in the mix. And I think that's it. I think I didn't did anything else. Everything else is just the default sounding preset, which already speaks a lot for itself. And I want to show you the demo that I composed, which is going to be probably the 4th song on the next Ascendie album. And yeah, I'm going to load the project right now and I'm going to let it run and show you guys how it sounds. Before I do that, let me record here on my PC. I'm going to open the library and I'm going to show you how it sounds, because I've been talking all this time and I didn't let the library itself speak for itself, sorry. So first things first, the UI on these sample libraries always look pretty amazing. I really like the UI with this like monolith in the background and the nocturnal theme appropriately, and it has, like I said, the DI, clean and distorted presets that you can select. But let's just assume that we are going to use the DI signal. And here in the humanizing knob, I always like to set this up to bassist, because I want a humanized, as human as possible kind of bass track in my music. So even if it comes with human errors, or if it has to do something like a misleading note or whatever, then do it, because I actually like to keep it as human as possible. I always care a lot about that when composing with virtual instruments. Same goes with drums and with guitars. I always care to not doing something that is not humanly possible. So the humanize knob in bassist, and everything else just by default. By the way, I want to show this because it's pretty impressive. Here you have all the different articulations and styles of playing that you can toggle on and off with the low section of the keyboard. So for example, if you want to do a slapping kind of playing on a section, you can just activate that just for that section by letting this note E2 play at the same time as the section that you are playing. And it's a lot, man. As you can see, it's a lot. You have a lot of options here, and you can force, for example, to play a certain note with a certain string. For example, if you want to use only the E string, and you want to play a really high note with the E string, you can pretty much do whatever you want, and I love it because of that. It has a lot of freedom of expression with the bass. Being a virtual bass, it's very much appreciated that you can make your own kind of playing within the bass. I mentioned this because I think it's pretty important, and it can be, saying it like this, it can make the impression that okay, whatever, but it's actually pretty important. So right now I have the DI signal. Let's play some basic bass line. By the way, the bass can go down to C2. What the hell? That's so low. Yeah, that's pretty insane. If for whatever the reason you need to play this low, you can. I don't think that's the case for example, Eurobass, which I think the lowest note that it can play, it's E2, which is also pretty low. I don't think I ever played that low. Maybe with my project Gauss Edenia, I played that low, but yeah, it's pretty insane. But let's do a bass line. Let's suppose that I want to load up a bass amplifier, right? And that's it. It sounds perfect. This kind of sound will sound perfect on a mix, on a metal mix. Let's see how the frequencies behave with this. Yeah, see? It's pretty balanced overall. But most of the frequencies are around here, as it should be, So yeah, it's the sound, it's pretty amazing. I really like this bass because it's not over aggressive, it's nice, it fits heavy metal, but it's not over processed and it's not super distorted. I'm going to delete the amplifier and I'm going to use the clean preset and play the same riff. Again, sounds super good. And if you want to do like some modifications within the sample library, you can, because it has this EQ kind of and a mixer for the bass. So you can make it a little bit less crunchy. You can compress it a little bit more. And with the grid, I saw a lot of people not knowing what this does, but I do. The grid actually is the mid-lows of the bass. So for example, you have the grid will be this right here. This is the grid. This is what the grid controls. And in my case, I like my bass to have to be very rich on the 300 frequencies. I like to have these frequencies pretty noticeable, pretty high. Not too much, because heavy metal tends to be produced in a way that those frequencies are not as present. But because if you overdo those, it kind of takes away the aggressiveness of the sound in a metal production. But in the case of the bass, you want to have those because, for example, if you want to do something like this, right? No. Those kind of bass arpeggios, or even high notes, sustained high notes like this. Those notes sound good when they, they sound when they have these frequencies. See? Most of the frequencies that these notes have are in the 300 to 400 hertz. Yeah. And you want those in your progressive or melodic death metal style mixes. Maybe not in other kind of more heavy things, but in the case of the style that I'm looking for, those frequencies are pretty important. Well, now that I talked about everything that I think it's what matters the most, I'm going to show you the demo that I composed using this bass Shredash 2, which is the guitar library that I use. Addictive drums for the snare and toms, and perfect drums for the cymbals, hi-hats, and all the cymbal section. And a single sample for the kick that I produced myself. So, check this out.
Alright, that's everything for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you in the next one. Bye!